Hey there, I'm Leslie Kolovich, along here with Nic Stoltzfus tonight. Today, we are going to be talking about our drum circle that we had last night and the amazing sounds that we created last night. You can hear a little bit of it right here in our ears and our headset right now. What a cool night we had last night, Nick.
Yeah, it was just wonderful. I mean, and one of the things I enjoyed so much was to hear the gong. You know, I had never heard a gong live before, and that was just one of the coolest things.
Yeah, the gong is an amazing, amazing instrument. It's actually considered in the drum family.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. That's what Jamie was telling us. And we got to experience, there was 15 of us last night, and we got to experience individually getting in front of the gong as Jamie played the magic with it. Mm-hmm. What a cool thing. Let's talk a little bit about this. And first of all, Nick, super excited to have you with me.
Yes, I'm really excited to be here today, too. I mean, it's just so much fun whenever I'm able to come down here to Walton County and come here. It feels like I'm traveling to a different place when I come down from Bluntstown. So
yeah, we're glad to have you here always, and especially for a drum circle.
Yes.
Okay, so this is your second drum circle?
This is my second drum circle ever in my entire life.
Your life. Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk. Let's get your feelings about drum circle because, you know, now I've been to two. You've experienced a gong. Tell us your thoughts and your feelings about what drumming means to you.
Yeah. Well, I'll start off with a story. I have always been attracted to drums and the beats and the rhythms of life. It's one of those things that sometimes it's hard to put into words. But for me, when it really clicked, I lived over in Japan for a year.
Nice.
And so I spent the winter break in Tokyo for 1 week. And during that time, I did a lot of traveling on my own throughout the city. And one Sunday, I went to Yoyogi Park, which is right in the middle of Tokyo.
Wow.
And it was a beautiful afternoon day and a little bit chilly. And so I'm sitting there, and there's about 7 or 8 people there in a drum circle and just going. And it sounded beautiful, and everyone had their own rhythm and beat. And part of the joy was watching them drumming, but part of the other joy was watching passerbyers and their response to the drum. Yeah. And my favorite was watching kids, because as the kids would go by, they'd start picking up on it and dancing. And then you'd see a dad or a mom, and he'd get into it and snap his fingers. And to me, it really spoke to me that drumming from a very early age, I mean, when we're in the womb, we hear the heartbeat of our mother. And so that idea of a rhythm of life, I think, stays with us through our entire lives. And it's just, do we want to connect back with it? Or, you know, how are we going to respond to these rhythms and beats of life?
Yeah, well, a great explanation. Yeah, and what a good story, too. I mean, I think a lot of people do, have that first experience with a drum circle, whether they're a passerby or in it. And it does. Oh, I got something in my throat. Talk for a minute.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some other... Well, anyway, that one experience just really kind of got me interested and in tune with drums. And then I came back after living a year in Japan, and then I ended up working with you on the Coastal Dune Lakes project. And after we were done, you had mentioned to me about maybe doing something with a drum circle that you were thinking about doing. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I've never been to a drum circle. But that memory of being in Japan and watching these drummers, it came back to me, and I'm like, whatever it takes, I want to be there the first time. And I was.
And that's, you know, what got this whole thing going too, is I've always had a rhythm. I mean, I wake up with a rhythm, you know, I'm like always tapping my foot or my teeth even, you know. And then I met Jamie Flynn at one of the live music shows here. And he's a drummer. He's a musician all the way around. But we connected so differently than anything else. And I just said to him, you know, would you be interested in like doing a drum circle? And he's like, I can't believe you just said this. Because he had been thinking about it for a long time. And so, you know, here we are. We started May 4th with our first one. Now we've done 6. Yeah, we did 2 in May and 1 in June, 2 in July, and then this one in August. And they have been really incredible because each group is never the same. We have new people showing up every time. And what we're starting to see, though, is that the people that are regular are starting to really find the groove. They're finding that comfort zone in the circle. We had this conversation this morning about people being comfortable to get in that zone.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. When I went to the first drum circle, probably like a lot of the other first-timers in the room, I wasn't 100% comfortable, partly because I didn't know a lot of the people in the room, and also I wasn't really quite sure what to expect. And I think a lot of the people who were there that first time were also first-time drummers.
Absolutely.
Whereas this time, last night, there was a very different vibe to it. Yeah. And you could tell people were starting to find their voice.
Yeah.
And definitely, I think, something interesting has happened in the last month or two, where, kind of like I was telling you last night, I feel more of a connection with music, with rhythms that I didn't feel, say, a year ago. And so, for example, one of the things now is when I listen to music, when I listen to soundtracks from a movie or something, I'll be going about my day and it'll still be with me.
Yeah.
And I'll be adding these rhythms, and then and I write every day. So I do blogging for you every Monday.
Yes.
And so, when I'm even writing now, these rhythms from whatever I'm listening to are with me. And it's just, I can't quite explain it.
No,
So.
It's one of those things that's just really unexplainable. It happens once you connect with the heart, with the heartbeat. There's like almost no words.
Right.
And I think that's what drumming has done for me. It's given me that another way to self-heal too, to reconnect all the time. Our group is a healing drum group.
Yes.
And we have a healing bowl that we put names of people who need some extra prayers or thoughts, good vibes sent to them. And we also talk about the importance of being able to put our own names in the bowl as well, because we're all human and we all are living this human life too, and that vibration can do so much.
I would definitely agree with you in the sense that it's really important that this isn't just a drum circle, but adding that name to it, that title that is a healing drum circle for ourselves and for others. And it's definitely, I'm not going to speak to everyone else's case in the room, but for me, coming to the drum circle, I definitely had not found my voice musically. And I was intimidated because Jamie here, he's this professional drummer, and there's other people around the circle that, were quite good. And so to start playing, I'm like, where's my voice in this? And so to find that and to be inspired that other people also, they come to the circle, we're all broken, we all have issues and hang-ups, and that everyone comes into it, they've checked their ego at the door. And that's part of the idea of a healing drum circle, is that all of us, we're not whole, we're broken, and that we can collectively come together and maybe help heal each other in some way. And that has helped me a lot. And it's kind of, I guess, had my musical self bottled up, and it helped to unbottle some of that. And as I was telling you earlier this morning, trying to play around with other musical instruments as well, it's been a joy, actually. And I feel like this has really been a part of that unbottling of myself.
Very cool. And I would think that, that's a similar experience some other people would probably have. Because in the very first drum circle, we ask, how many of you are drummers or have ever drummed? And not many raised their hands.
No, they didn't.
And many of them actually say, I don't drum, I don't even have any rhythm, I don't really know why I'm here. Yeah. But it's like we also talked, last night about everyone is a drummer, and if you can just let down those walls, that you can just let it flow and let it go. the magic really starts to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this in so many different people as the drum circle progresses. The coolest thing, Nick, is to see someone find their voice with their drum.
Yes.
You actually see it. It's like light just shines through them.
Yes. And I think definitely last night I saw a couple people, it was like that, where maybe starting off just a little timid, and then, as they feel the beat within them, it's just like they'll start getting a little louder and then adding their own syncopation and rhythms, and and then the whole group builds off of that, and I think that's one of the joy of the healing part of it, is that we're all together in this, and we're not here to judge. We're not here to try to slam or put down anyone else. It's about the collective effort and also yourself. So it's an interesting vibe for it.
Yeah, it really is a great vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And, people think, maybe I don't have time to do this drumming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a good drummer. I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
But once it gets going.
Yes. Well, there's definitely a fear. I mean, anytime you're starting something new, it's like, all these professionals, are they going to judge me, or what are they going to think of me, and that sort of thing. But I mean, I'd encourage anyone who is thinking about doing something like this, just let it go.
Yeah. Just let it go. And she who said she just let herself go, try not to fit in to the sound, and just get into that zone, and magically you fit into it.
Yeah.
Because when you're in the zone, So let's talk a little bit about our gong experience last night, because I think that set the whole evening up for the incredible sound that we had last night. Last night's sound was phenomenal.
It was. It's definitely one of those things. It's hard to put in words, but typically, as I was telling you earlier, when I think of a gong, I just think of right before some sort of a martial arts match that they hit the gong.
Or the gong show.
Right. And so that's the one tone that I think of, that bong, and then they start the match. And I knew that they use gongs for orchestras as well, but I'm just like, okay, at the finale, they bang it a couple times, like in Tchaikovsky's Overture of 1812, maybe using that instead of the cannons. I think that and the timpani. That's just what I think of. Yeah. But then when he has these mallets and starts, rubbing the drum and almost caressing it into existence.
Yes.
I was just like, oh my goodness. And my mind just started running through all the different orchestral scores that I've heard, or scores from movies. So like, I was thinking of 2001: A Space Odyssey in particular, and it has this sort of space, sort of a sound to it, that it just reminds me of the open area.
Void.
The void, exactly. And it's almost bone chilling in a way to hear it. Last
night, so everybody, we kind of did a conga line to the to the gong.
Yes.
Everyone had an opportunity to stand in front of it for however long they felt, basically, and he just played it. I know he was just inspired for each person how to play the gong around them, and there were some times that sound seriously just. It takes you somewhere else. Yeah, it's hard to explain, and I know, like, we're talking about this right now, and some people may be thinking like, okay, what do you mean just about the idea of vibrations and stuff? But it's absolutely true that vibrations, that music, it does something to our brains. I mean, they have research out there. Right. I mean, why do you think so many people connect through music? Or just look at films. If you pull the music out of a film score, you pull the power out of a film. Right.
And so that's it. I took a music class in college, and the professor told us that music is at a very central core of the human brain. I mean, almost even more primitive than language, that we connect at that level. And so sometimes that's when I talk about it's hard to put into words. It's because it's almost a thing that is before words, that came beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
And so...
Well, you think about the planet itself, the whole vibration of the entire planet. Everything has a vibration. When we go outside here in Florida especially, we hear the frogs, the crickets, the acacia, all of these creatures and the wind blowing through the trees. Everything has a rhythm. And it sounds like if you really go out on your porch one day, it sounds like there is a choir with a full orchestra behind it. And it is just connecting back to that. And that's what I think drum circles do. And yeah, there's so much science now about music. It sets your moods. If you listen to some sort of music, you can see this. I've seen it. I've felt it myself. If you listen to a song that is just pounding negative stuff or just pounding, you feel that way.
You do. You do.
If you listen to a really cool, uplifting song that has words that make you feel good, it's like sets your day feeling good.
I think another thing, too, going back to the idea of music preceding language, the idea of our drum circle, here we are sitting around for almost 2 hours, no one's talking.
No words, right.
But we're still communicating.
Right.
And that's what's just so cool. I mean, because we're sitting around the circle and then all of a sudden I hear someone whistling, but I'm like, wait a second, this sounds too good for someone to be listening. And it's all of a sudden, it's like we're in a theater or a play or something, and from stage right, we have, was it a flautist, a flutist, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, come in, and he adds his own voice to the circle, and it completely changed the dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
And just things like that. But we're communicating with each other, with ourselves, through the power of the drums and vibrations.
And when we are also communicating with body language too. I mean,
yes.
one of our rules, so to speak, of this group is that we listen to each other, and that's also looking and eye contact. And I so many times will look at someone and try to look at their rhythm and try and listen to the rhythm and just go with it, just from their body language, how they're moving, and eyes.
Yes.
So it is a way of communicating without words.
Yeah, I think if any, as far as a communication term that brings to mind for me of a drum circle, it's interdependence, because it's not 15 people standing alone, and it's not that everyone's soul has just all of a sudden become mushed together in this ooey gooey center.
Right.
But this idea that we're all 15 individual units that have decided to reach across the room, join hands, and join our bodies and our souls for this period of time, and we've changed each other, and so that this interdependence through drums, I guess.
Wow, what a cool thing.
Yeah.
There could be. I love it.
Me too. It's been one of my favorite things, and I've only been to 2. So I mean, let's talk again when I've been to 10 or 15 or 20, and let's see what's changed.
Well, we do this drum circle once a month on the second Thursday of each month, and we're going to be doing them also for like full moon events, like the super moon. It's coming up in September. We'll be out on the beach for that, and then whenever we feel inspired, like when we very first started, I felt like I needed to call a group, whoever could join us. To join us for, like, there was just, I think it was when the big earthquakes happened in Nepal. Yeah. And we just gather our group and just send out this positive energy to those who need it. And it's just been a magnificent experience for me, and I'm so glad that you have been a part of this. Yeah, and I mean, Leslie, thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this, and I hope to be coming to many more. That's right, that's right. And also make sure you check out Nic's blog on supradioshow.com. He blogs for us on Tuesdays. His blog is out on Tuesday, isn't it? Tuesday, you're Tuesday, right. I submit it Monday night. You submit Monday. I'm going, shoot. But he writes a really cool blog, and I'm just glad that we've met, our paths have crossed, and in this way. And I'm looking forward to some really great things in the future. Me too. All right, man. Thanks again. Yeah, thank you, Leslie. I'm going to go ahead and play some more of our drum music as we end today's show. Oh, that's not it. But you've been listening to Soulful, Uplifting People. I'm Leslie Kolovich. And I'm Nic Stoltzfus. Have a great day and live your life with purpose. See ya.